Well, hello and happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to my final project for the week featuring the Regal Winter Suite Collection, items from the Suite Collection. This week I have used all the products that are shown in the suite, the stamps, the dies, the specialty distress paper, the Regal foil adhesive dots, the ribbon, and the DSP. Today I am going to make this little box, but different. It was shown on our demonstrator group. She made this box, so I wanted to. She made hers with different colors. So I loved that box, and I saw that in there, but I wasn't sure how they made it. So I'm glad she showed us, and so I'll get started showing you how she did that. First off, we're going to make the the box base. So let's go ahead and get the rest out of there. And see this little box? This is the belly band that goes over it. And then the box just opens up. It's a very, very simple little box. So to start with, you have 2 sheets of paper. I used the white distress specialty paper, which is just one-sided. And then for the bottom of the box, I'm going to use the Blackberry Bliss. I need to get my Simply scored, so I need to score the lines on it. I will let you know, I will show you before I score the lines. The top of the box is going to be 6 by 7. So 6 by 7 is the box top. The box bottom is 5 7/8 by 6 7/8. So it is just slightly smaller than the top, so that it goes together. So it slides on and off of there really well. Okay, so you cut those, and then you're going to go around and you're going to score 1 inch all the way around. Sorry about that, my eye itched. So then we just take our score pal, or simply scored, whichever score you want to use. You could use your trimmer. Like I said, with the trimmer, mine does a little bit of a deeper score, so it sometimes goes through the DSP. So I like to use the Simply Scored and the stylus, because then I have a little more control. Just 1 inch around on all 4 sides. Okay, so that is the box top, and then we'll do the same thing with the bottom. Oh, see this one? I've got to watch. This one I might need to get my trimmer out to score it, because this paper is just a little bit thicker, so I will go ahead and grab my trimmer to score this one. See, and that's the difference. The trimmer doesn't like to score the DSP very well, but it does a better job on just the regular cardstock. I think it's just because of the thickness of it as I throw it across my desk. So I'll go ahead and line that up on the 1 inch mark. Get my scorer. And then that way you don't have to worry about it going off track. There we go. So there. So I used my Simply Scored for my DSP so that it did not tear through it, and I used my trimmer for the cardstock because it is thicker and it can handle the trimmer's score tool on there. Okay. Now we need to I'm sorry about that. Now we're going to cut on the corners so that they can fold over, and that's what makes the box shape. So you just cut up to the 1-inch score. Do that on both sides. Now for mine, I did go ahead and taper my edges just ever so much, just so that I get a better fold. You don't have to do this, but I like to do this just so that it folds together easier for me. I think it just looks better. Again, this is not something you have to do. This is just my preference. Like I did with the gift bag, because when you're folding corners and that together, if you have a taper, you can get more of a right angled fold, I feel. My grandson is, well, my grandkids are in high school. Both of them are in high school now. And tonight was homecoming, so they went to homecoming. So I'm kind of excited to hear they'll be coming over this weekend, so I'm kind of excited to hear how it went for them. I think this is the first homecoming. One grandchild is a sophomore, the other one is a freshman. So it'll be kind of exciting to see how it went for them. I think they were a little, they hyped it up a lot, and then they were afraid that they hyped it up too much and it wasn't going to be as exciting as they had in their head. So we'll see. I don't think I ever went to homecoming. I know I went to, I was in ROTC, so I went to the military ball for the 2 years I was in ROTC. And then my senior year, I also did go to the prom. So I did go to those things. But I have to say I was never much into sports, so I didn't do the homecomings and that. My mom was in band, so she did those all the time. She had lots of stories of going to doing homecoming because she was in band. But my mom was also in volleyball. She played volleyball for quite a long time until she actually broke her pinky on her right hand. And then she had to learn how to write left-handed for a while. So my mom was kind of forced ambidextrous. She still wrote more with her right hand than anything, but she could, if she absolutely had to, she could write with her left hand. I used to try to practice. I can't. I have a cousin, Cindy, that is left-handed. Not me. I am totally right-handed, and I'm a goofball with my left hand. kind of a lot of stories there in one thing, just waiting for me to cut that. Okay. So now we're going to just go ahead and fold up the edges of the box. Fold it in. Fold the flaps in. This really is a very quick way to make a box, a very, very cute box. So let me grab, you can use either the Stampin' Seal or you could use glue, whichever works best for you. I'm going to go ahead and use the Stampin' Seal just to do the edges here. Get it going. I just kind of like to go along the edge. Okay, I'll do the same thing on this one. I want to be sure that I'm getting it right along that edge so that it'll stick really good. Okay, so then we'll go ahead and fold it up, fold those two flaps in, and then you just make sure you put that along the edge. So you just kind of gotta watch where you're going there, and there you go. You got the base of your box. Now we'll go ahead and do the same thing with the top. One thing, it is kind of hard to see. You can't see it on camera. You can't see those folds on camera, but they are there, those score marks. So they're a little bit hard to see on the white cardstock, and then on camera you really can't see it. Okay, so I will go tape up the edges here. Hold it so it doesn't run amok. Amok, amok, amok. Hocus, hocus pocus. It's one of my favorite movies. I was kind of glad when they did the sequel. It was crazy how long ago the original was made. Okay, then you'll do the same thing with this one. Just fold the edges in, fold those flaps in, and then make sure you're going right to the edge and not too far in. Oh, got a dog hair. Not surprised. He's sleeping right underneath me, so doesn't get too far away from me. Oh, that one got a little bit too far in. So let's fold that corner a little bit and then short up. There we go. Alrighty, there we go. We have our box made. And since the little one is just a little bit smaller, it fits in there just perfect. It's a very lightweight box, and it's just a perfect weight. Now we're going to make a belly band for it. And I took a piece of cardstock, and this cardstock is 12 inches by 3.5 inches. And you're just going to wrap it around, but to help wrap it around, you're going to score it. So I will get my Simply Score again. Now this piece I scored at, the first score is going to be at 2 inches. Oh, I lost my stylus. Well, there it is. Okay, the first score is going to be at 2 inches. And since this is DSP, I'm going to go ahead and use the Simply Scored. So 2 inches, and then 3 inches. And then we're going to go out for to support the front of the box, but I'm going to score it at 7 1/8. So I'm going to score it here. And this is just so it's not, it makes it so that it'll slip on and off of there easier. And then at 8 1/8. Because if you score it at the 7 mark, it's too tight. It won't wrap around it nicely. Okay, so then you can go ahead and do those score marks. Okay, and as you'll see, oh, here's my box over here. This makes it so that it wraps around there just fine. If I had done it on the 7-inch mark, it would have made it so that it was just too tight on the box and you wouldn't have been able to have moved it. But this way it goes on there and it can slide really easily. So go ahead and get it glued in the back, and you can glue it either way. You can make it so the seam is kind of in the middle or it's kind of over on the side. I am going to leave it on the box just so that I get it in a good place. Okay. Now again, you can use glue or you can use your Stampin' Seal. If you have the Stampin' Seal Plus, that's a good one to use for this because it is a little bit of a stronger adhesive. But I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the regular Stampin' Seal. Let's see, where was that? Okay, yeah, that's about the right edge. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it around the box. There we go. And get it lined up pretty good. There we go. I can take it off of there and press down on it really well. Okay, so that is our belly band for our box to hold our box together, but just also make it a little bit prettier, give it a little bit of character. So there we go. Now, I also wrapped ribbon around that belly band. Now, I didn't attach it. That ribbon is just free flowing. So for this box, for this one, I used, we have some ribbon that has got the cherry cobbler red and a gold line on it, and because I used the more cherry cobbler color. So that's what I used with that one. With this one, I'm going to go ahead and use the Blackberry Bliss that comes with the suite. And what I did was I just wrapped it around and then I tied a bow. So you can cut it. I kind of wrapped it, about that far so I knew it would be okay. And then I cut the ribbon. Okay. Now you could take one and wrap it around and then wrap your bow around that ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and just use one piece that I am just going to make a bow out of this piece. So I'll go ahead and I'll start by tying a knot. Okay, and then I will create a bow. Now there, I could have made my ribbon a little bit longer and that would have been fine. That would have been okay. But this will be fine. Now we're going to take and make this cute little tag. Now this tag, what you could do, I went ahead and stamped this one pretty dark, but you could stamp this white one in a you could mute the stamp a little bit, like do a stamp off, and then this could be where you could write a sentiment, you know, a little greeting to whoever that you're going to send this to. But for the tag, let's see, we'll go ahead and get these cut out. But one tag is cut out in the white, and the other one I used the Blackberry Bliss. That'll go along with that better. And then it's going to have this little crushed curry for, looks like little foliage back there. So let me go and get those cut out, and I will be right back. Okay, and I'm back, and I've got those cut out. I used the frame for these two, and then for this one, it's like I said, it looks like a little foliage die, and so I just pop those out of there. And see, some of them are left over. I will clean those out with the pick tool, but a couple of them stayed in here, so I'll go ahead and pop those through. Okay. Yep, there we go. They're all popped out now. And that one I'm going to put here on the front. And I'm going to go ahead and use the glue for it, since it's so tiny. And I have adhesive sheets. I could have used the adhesive sheets, run it through with one of those on it, and then that would have made it so it really good adhesive stick to it without needing glue afterwards. And this you just want to kind of dot it throughout. Put a couple dots here and there on some of the bigger spots. Good size one there and a good size one there. Okay. Now I'm going to take it and I'm just going to apply it to the front. Oh, I got a little bit on there. That's okay though. So it doesn't have to be perfect on there. It's just decoration. So there we go there. Now the rest of the card front, or the tag, let's see. Make sure that it does, I'm going to hold it for a little bit, so make sure that it does stick down, because it wasn't one to completely adhere. Okay, for the rest of this tag, I am going to use the stamp off effect. And what that is you'll do the stamp, you'll ink up your stamp, but then you'll stamp off. So it's a little bit lighter. And what we're going to do is, I don't know if you can really tell, the flower and then even here the leaves, they're kind of two-toned because I stamped it first. I'm going to stamp it first with the red, and then when I stamp off, then I'm going to go back over the edges with blue. So I'm going to use my little sponge dauber to go back over with the blue. So we'll get this started here. Get the stamp. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to go ahead and ink it up in red. And I'm just going to stamp that off. Okay, now I'm going to take my blue and I'm just going to go around the edges of the stamp. And as you can kind of see it going on there already. So I'm just going to go around the edge, around the whole edge of it. There we go. And then I will go ahead and stamp it again. There. So see, it mutes it, but it does give it like a two-toned color. It's very pretty effect. We're going to do the same thing with the leaves. Okay. Get my stamp cleaned off. There we go. Okay, now I will do the same thing with that leaf pattern. So for that one, I will be using crushed curry and pretty peacock. So I'll get those closed up and bring out the... My doggo is right underneath my feet. Right underneath my feet. I'm having to stand at an angle, so you might see me reaching, and I don't mean to. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this stamp in the crushed curry, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it off, and then I'm going to take the peacock, the pretty peacock, and I'm just going to go on those little thin ones there on the edge, and then I will go ahead and stamp it. So see there, get that all cleaned off of there. Okay, now I will go and I will take these and run these through the cut and emboss, so I will cut them out. So again, I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back from cutting them out, so we'll get them popped out of there. There's the one, and there's two. All right, now we're just going to, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply these, or put these on with pop dots, dimensionals, sorry. So just kind of want to decide. And also, I'm going to go ahead and cut the tag there, or cut the hole there. I'm going to put a little hole here because I'm going to tie that tag on with string. So I will go ahead and cut a hole. That way I'll know where that hole is. Kind of want to get it in the center. There we go. So now we have that hole punched, and so I will go ahead and see how I want to apply those on there. And I will go ahead and put those two together with a mini glue dot. So kind of want to put them like this. Okay, so I'm going to put that mini glue dot about there. So just kind of put it on that leaf. Nope, and it didn't pop off of there with it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So there we go. And then I'm going to put those two on there with the dimensionals. So I kind of want to see, pretty much do the whole thing. Just the very edges is where I don't want to go. What I will do is I'll put some right over that seam. So that's a good way to hold it together. I'll put one more here. There, that should hold it pretty good. Get those backs off of there. And while I went to go die cut those flowers, those flower images out, Dargo moved. So now I can stand at my desk better again. Oh, that boy. I love him. I love him muches. Okay, so now you just kind of decide how you want that to go on there. Okay. Now, like I said, for this, you could leave it blank if you want to. If you just want to add a little bit of something to it, I'm going to go ahead and add the crushed curry. And I'm going to do the stamp off so that it's a little bit muted. So there, yeah. So just stamp it and then kind of stamp it there. So see how it's not as strong as if I stamped it the very first. Some people call this stamp off, some call it generation stamping. Like this one would be the first generation, second generation, then third. You just keep taking the intenseness of the stamp down with each stamp. So I've heard it both ways. Stamp off and generation stamping. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then you can just leave it like that, and then that way you can write maybe the name of the person you're sending this gift to, or whatever you want to do with that. Okay, now for the little tag on the front, the thanks, I'm going to stamp that in the, oh, I think I might stamp it in the Night of Navy for this one. I stamped it in the Pretty Peacock for mine, but I think I like the Night of Navy for this one. So this is just the thanks stamp. So I'm just going to ink it up, stamp to make sure it's okay. And I've got a couple different sizes, but we'll go ahead and go with this one. There we go. Okay, now to kind of banner those ends, this is a trick that it's hit or miss for me. But you just cut up the center, and then you cut on the sides to that center mark. And see, my eyes, if I don't have my glasses on, I can't see that where I cut to the center. So I don't always get it. And my glasses are in my bedroom. So, but it could be that it's the white cardstock. It could be the light that making it hard for me to see. I don't know. But there's how you can make cute little banner cuts there. I would prefer to have a die that would cut it out for me. I really would. And then I'm going to go ahead and just stick that on there with the dimensionals as well. I think it's a lot like the fussy cutting. I have a shaky hand, so I would prefer to have something else do that for me instead of me trying to do it and being all shaky about it. But it works really well for other people, so I like to give people options. Okay, I'm only going to put this kind of on this end because I do want it to stick off a little bit. So we'll get those off of there. And then we'll stick it on there. Now we will take our twine, and I've just got the white twine, and you can see I've used this a lot, so I'm kind of running low. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to stick it through both of them. Get that twine in there. And then I'm going to wrap that twine around the ribbon here. Get it underneath there. And I don't need a whole bunch, so let me get that cut off of there because I don't want this to be a very big loop. So, because I just kind of want it hanging off of there a little bit. I don't want it hanging too low. And you can have it hanging at the middle of your loop, of your ribbon. You can have it hanging off to the side like I have. And so we can kind of bring it down a little bit. And then I'm just going to go ahead and tie a knot. Not even a bow, just a knot. So see there, now see, you can maybe move your bow off to the side a little bit and then get those cut just a little bit shorter. And then to add just a little bit of bling to it, I will add some of the dots. And I'm really liking these lighter pink dots for these. So, and for these, I'm just going to add them right to the middle of the flowers. I think it just makes the flowers pop that much more. Okay, and there you have it. There is the pretty little box. I kind of wanted to show you something that I do for my organization. And there we have both boxes. So when I'm trying to organize all of my paper and everything so that I can keep everything together, and I know what I have. First off, I made these DSP sampler sheets. This way I can see what the DSP looks like without having to take each one out, and then I can actually see the colors that go along with this set. That has helped me so much because I mean I can read what colors, but if I have just a little sampling of them as well, it's easier for me to go find exactly what I'm looking for. But then another thing that I do is I got these storage containers, storage bags. I'm not even sure what you'd call them. The name escapes me. Storage sleeves, paper sleeves off of Amazon, and I can send the link or put the link for those. I'm not an affiliate with Amazon, so I don't make any money if you purchase it. This is an idea. But another thing that I do is if I have lots of little scraps from the DSP, instead of having them just wandering around inside of there, I keep them in a little sandwich baggie, and then I put them with it, so that way if I just need a little scrap of something, I can just grab that bag really quick and find it. The bigger ones, no, I keep the bigger sheets, pieces of the cardstock in the sleeve. But that is one thing that I do. I do that with my DSP, and I do that with my cardstock as well. It has been a game changer for me. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you. I hope you enjoyed the projects that I made this week, and I will return next week. I'm trying to decide. I have my sights on either Autumn Expressions or I don't know, I might do the Autumn Expressions next week because it has got some very beautiful DSP to go with it, and some very cute little golden leaves. So stick around for next week, and I enjoyed having you guys here with me this week. Thank you. Bye-bye.